Morning. How is everyone? We have some changes this morning that lead us to we just roll with it. We're just rolling with it. And one of the reasons we're rolling with it is because our beautiful Sandra is at home taking care of her lovely dog, Penny. And Penny is struggling, so please, prayers for Sandra, prayers for Penny, and the highest good and the highest outcome. And Sandra, we miss you, obviously. Chris, we miss you as well. And I would have loved to have heard you play solo on the drums today, but sometimes it's just not meant to be. But welcome, welcome. My name is Stephanie. It is my pleasure to greet you. For those of you who are joining us online, I say good morning and welcome. And no matter what way that you are worshiping today, no matter where you are today, we acknowledge that we are all one in spirit. We are very lucky today to have Jeff Tawney back with us. Please give him a hand. We are so glad to have him back with us. He is doing part 2 today on Life Be the Blessing. And I think that's going to be very appropriate because you cannot have too many blessings. It is impossible. So special thanks go out to Byron today, who is running a whole lot beyond his, I would say his comfort level, not his skill level, but probably his comfort level. And as he and Wayne work together, we say thank you to them for being our media team because none of this happens without them. And then, of course, a special thanks goes out to all of our volunteers because none of this happens without you, and we appreciate so much everything that you do. So I know you're in here, so give yourselves a hand. And at this time, I would like to ask you to stand and greet your neighbors. Thank you, all you beautiful people. All these magnificent souls, these fabulous faces, these beautiful hearts. There is a lot to say hello to. All right, at this time I'm going to invite you all to participate with me in Unity's statement for peace. With everything that is happening in the world, it's important to remember that we are a people of peace and we stand for peace. So join me together, please. Unity stands for peace in the presence of conflict, for love in the presence of hatred, for forgiveness in the presence of injury. Unity honors the many names for God, the many parts of God, the many ways to worship God, for there is one power and presence of God, and that God loves each one of us equally. It is therefore the position their people to turn to God by whatever name for guidance during these challenging times, and to pursue peace, not war. For this is what honors all our faith traditions. Thank you so much. And because we are having a few changes today, we're going to move right into our spiritual nugget. And so today our spiritual nugget is coming from God is the Answer by Deanna Gatlin. And in here on page 117, we read, I am a creation of the Most High and am now open to his fullest blessing. I am lifted up to the Christ consciousness. I am one with all love, good everywhere. I am at peace with the world. I am free. I am free. You build up your consciousness of God's presence not only by meditation and prayer, not only by changing your thought habits and controlling your wayward emotions. You build up means of the things you do all day long and through the spirit in which you do them. Thank you for that. And now we are going to, are we going to have a little music before we're going to have a little music before Jeff comes up and blesses us with his message, which I'm very excited for today.
And see there is only love, there is only love, love that heals, love that sets me free. There is only myself, when I feel I've lost my way, when I go inside and quiet my mind, I hear Spirit gently say, there is only love. There is only love, love that heals, love that sets me free. There is only love, there is only love, there is only love that heals, love that sets me free. There is only love. There is only love. There is only love. Love that heals, love that sets me free. There is only love. Love that heals, love that sets me free. There is only love.
that better? Can you hear me now? Thank you all. Well, I'm glad to be here. The last time I was here, I had talked about love, the power of love. And one of the things that, the reason why I was talking about that was a class I was going through with David McClure. And David had talked about how the power of life, I should say, the power of life is connected with the disciple Judas. And in this class that I'm in with David, I picked the card Judas. So I represent the power of life in this class. And my first response is, why do I get Judas? I'm going through some things in other parts of my life, and being associated with Judas is not necessarily a good thing or something that I'm comfortable with. So I kind of questioned David, and I'm like, why this? And David says, you'll see. And so I was like, okay. So we've been going through the class, and I'm still struggling with the whole Judas connected to the power of life. And then I had a chance lunch with my friend Suzanne, and we just catching up, and I was sharing with her about my talk before and this connection. And ironically, you folks were there having lunch at the exact same time, right? And the connection for me was, I need to talk about this. And you guys represented this place, this moment. And Suzanne represented the connection of the power of life and this part too. So, and I will say that, the fact that Sandra isn't here, we understand, she's going through some challenging things with her dog and all that sort of thing. When we get into situations and it requires us to be flexible, the only way that we can do that is if we're free, right? If we're all confined in anger and hate and disappointment and all those things that trap us, it's much more difficult for us to be able to be flexible and adapt to situations. So I almost feel like it's telling that she's not here because it demonstrates the resolve of this community and being able to be flexible. Now, when I got here this morning, usually when I get here, Sandra and Chris are warming up, and they've been practicing for 45 minutes, and they're like into their rhythm and everything. And it wasn't here, and I was like, ooh, something's wrong. But you would never know that by the individuals here supporting this service today, including Byron, which everything falls on his shoulders. Now, maybe he's like the duck. He's just on water, and he's just kind of pulling around. You think nothing's going on, but underneath he's just scrambling around trying to make things happen. Regardless of that, I just want you to know that despite the technical difficulties and the things that are going on, you guys are free. So, what I wanted to talk about a little bit today, I got my van over here is doing my slides for me. So, the last time I was here, we talked about the power of life, and the three faculties of that is animation, vitality, and presence. And I would say that today we demonstrated presence by the mere fact that we didn't get focused on what was going wrong, but what we could do right. So so that's just a little recap of what we talked about last week. This week, and go ahead and move forward. Okay, so this week we're going to talk about Judas Iscariot. And I apologize for this if the fonts are something gets lost in translation sometimes when I'm moving from a keynote presentation to a PowerPoint presentation. So I apologize. But first of all, let's talk about who Judas Iscariot was. Judas Iscariot was one of the 12 disciples. Metaphysically, Judas means life conserver. In the canonical Gospels, go back, I'm sorry. In the canonical Gospels, Judas is painted as a betrayer. And he's pretty much painted as the individual that we are not happy about, right? He makes us uncomfortable. And one of the things that I discovered, and I didn't go real deep into Judas, didn't get that big of a dive into it because I was trying to I had another part of this message that I wanted to come through. But one of the things that I discovered was Judas actually there was a book, the book of Judas, which one of the Gospels, but when the Bible got canonized, they pulled that one out, as they did with the book of Thomas and others, and for whatever reasons. But there were 16 chapters in the book of Judas. So there's a lot there. This isn't just one little chapter. There's a whole lot there. And I would venture to say that through man's interpretation and of the written scripture, there are some things that are kind of adjusted, per se. Things that may have been left out or embellished in order to make a point and to support what was going on in the day. So we have to look at these things with a little bit of wonder, a little curiosity, a little mystery. And I think that's our job to do, is to dig into those scriptures and really decipher what is really happening. So one of the things in the scripture, it talks about Jesus betrayed Christ. And if you go back to what betrayed means, how it was defined, back in those days, it was actually meant to be handed over. Okay, so that's a little bit different than actual betrayal, right? So if you're handing someone over, that might mean that someone has committed a crime, and you've got to take this person, they need to turn themselves in. And so you as a friend go with them so they can hand themselves over to the authorities in order to be go about their trial and all that sort of thing. So that's a little bit different than betrayal. But if we look at what the true definition of betrayal is, well, let me just read the scripture here. It says, and this is Matthew 26, 20 through 25. In the evening, Jesus was sitting at the table with his 12 followers. As they were eating, Jesus said, I tell you the truth, one of you will turn against me. This made the followers very sad. Each one began to say, Jesus, surely, Lord, I'm not the one who turned against you, am I? I found that strange. I'm not the one, am I? Jesus answered, the man who dipped his hand with me into this bowl is the one who will turn against me. The Son of Man will die just as the scriptures say, but how terrible is it for the person who hands the Son of Man over to be killed? It would be better for him to have never been born. Then Judas, who would give Jesus to his enemies, said to Jesus, Teacher, surely I'm not the one, am I? And Jesus replied, yes, it's you. It's interesting that when you think of betrayal, at its base level, whether it's a betrayal in a marriage, whether it's betrayal in a partnership, a friendship, a business, all of it stems from a place of trust. And I have an established trust with this person, and then they betray that. And they may betray that in terms of how they handle things or the actions that they do. That we think this person is one thing, and they betray that trust to show us that they're actually something else. And for some of us, I'll say all of us, no, I would say some of us, because I am going through this right now. It's very difficult for me to see this person differently, because I still see them in the hurt and the pain and my disappointment that they currently are in. Have you ever done something or known someone who did or felt so bad that they couldn't function? And the point here is that in that scripture it says, but how terrible it will be for the person who hands the Son of Man over to be killed. It would be better for him to have never been born. Now, I was always taught and understood through scriptures that meant that the punish for that guy is going to be so severe that he's going to wish that he never been born. But I would submit to you something different. I would submit to you that that's not the punishment on him, that is the punishment he's placing on himself. That the shame and the guilt and the despair that he feels by the actions that he's taken is actually making him feel like he's never been born, like he wished he'd never been born. And if we go into the history of Judas, we know that he regretted what he did because he didn't realize he was actually handing Jesus over to be killed. He thought he was just handing Jesus over for one reason. the authorities meant it for something else, and then he realized, like, oh, what have I done? He tried to give the money back. They wouldn't take the money back. And so there's a whole story about how, or part of the stories is a speculation is he actually went off to a place and hung himself because he felt so despair. So, changes the idea or the dynamic a little bit. Regardless of who or what Judas is, or what he represents, is a part of the story that one of the worst things we could do. Betrayal is one of the most difficult offenses we can commit. To say yes to forgiveness and choose to move past the hurt and pain is to embrace life. It's removing the barriers that can keep us from experiencing all that the life or the universe has to offer. Another way to think of this is someone with a physical impairment or disability. While they may be in a place of physical limitation, the individual refuses to allow that to stand in their way. They press forward and they have an experience that no other one can dream of. It makes their experience unique. I'm going to keep moving forward here. I have a lot of notes. It's funny when I prepare these things. I was telling Julie this morning, when I'm in preparation, the flow keeps coming, and at some point I go, I have to shut it off because I can't get all my thoughts organized into this. So I'm going to take the time right now, and I'm going to tell you a story. Is anybody familiar with this book or this story? But bear with me because I'm going to share it with everyone here. This is a story of the little soul and the sun. This is a book by Neil Donald Walsh. Once upon a time, there was a little soul who said to God, I know who I am. And God said, that's wonderful. Who are you? And the little soul shouted, I am the light. God smiled a big smile. That's right, God exclaimed. You are the light. The little soul was so happy, for it had figured out what all the souls in the kingdom were there to figure out. Wow, said the little soul, this is really cool. But soon knowing who it was not enough. The little soul felt stirrings inside and now wanted to be who it was. And so the little soul went back to God, which is not a bad idea for all souls who want to be who they really are, and said, Hi, God. Now that I know who I am, is it okay for me to be it? And God says, You mean you want to be who you already are? Well, replied the little soul, it's one thing to know who I am, and another thing altogether to actually be it. I want to feel what it's like to be light. But you already are the light, God repeated, smiling again. Yes, but I want to see what it feels like, cried the little soul. Well, said God with a chuckle, I suppose I should have known. You always are the adventurous one. Then God's expression changed. There's only one thing. What? Asked the little soul. Well, there is nothing else but the light. You see, I created nothing but what you are, and so there is no easy way for you to experience yourself as who you are, since there is nothing that you are not. Huh? Said the little soul, who is now a little confused. Think of it this way, said God. You are like a candle in the sun. Oh, you're there all right, along with millions and other candles who make up the sun. And the sun would not be the sun without you. Nay, it would be a sun without one of its candles, and that would not be the sun at all, for it would not shine as brightly. Yet how to know yourself as a light when you are in the midst of the light, that is the question. Well, little soul perked up, you're God. Think of something. Once more God smiled. I already have, God said. Since you cannot see yourself as a light, when you are in the light, we'll surround you with darkness. What's darkness? The little soul asked. God replied, it's that which you are not. Will I be afraid of the dark? Cried the little soul. Only if you choose to be, God answered. There is nothing really to be afraid of unless you decide that there is. You see, we are making it all up. We're pretending. Oh, said the little soul, and felt better already. Then God explained that in order to experience anything at all, the exact opposite must appear. It is the gift, God said, because without it, you could not know what anything is like. You could not know warm without cold, up without down, fast without slow. You could not know left without right, here without there, now without then. And so, God concluded, when you are surrounded with darkness, do not shake your fist and raise your voice and curse the darkness. Rather, be a light unto the darkness, and don't be mad about it. Then you will know who you really are, and all others you will know too. Let your light shine so that everyone will know how special you are. You mean it's okay to let others to see how special I am? Of course, God chuckled. It's very okay. But remember, special does not mean better. Everybody is special, each in their own way. Yet many others have forgotten that. They will see that it is okay for them to be special only when you see that it is okay for you to be special. Wow, said the little soul, dancing and skipping and laughing and jumping with joy. I can be as special as I want to be. Yes, and you can start right now, said God, who is also dancing and skipping right along with the little soul. What part of you do you want to be? What part of special do you want to be? What part of special? The little soul repeated. I don't understand. Well, God explained, being the light is being special, and being special has a lot of parts to it. It is special to be kind. It is special to be gentle. It is special to be creative. It is special to be patient. Can you think of any other ways it is special to be? The little soul sat quietly for a moment. I can think of a lot of ways to be special, the little soul then exclaimed. It's special to be helpful. It's special to be sharing. It's special to be friendly. It's special to be considerate of others. Yes, God agreed. And you can be all of these things, any part of special you wish to be, at any moment. That's what it means to be the light. I know what I want to be. I know what I want to be, the little soul announced with great excitement. I want to be the part of special called forgiving. Isn't it special to be forgiving? Oh, yes, God assured the little soul. That is very special. Okay, said the little soul, that's what I want to be. I want to be forgiving. I want to experience myself as that. Good, said God. There is one thing you should know. The little soul was becoming a bit impatient now. It always seemed that as though there was some complication. What is it? The little soul sighed. There is no one to forgive. No one, the little soul could hardly believe that what he had said. No one, God repeated. Everything I have made is perfect. There is not a single soul in creation less perfect than you. Just look around. It was then the little soul realized a large crowd had gathered. Souls had come from far and wide, all over the kingdom, for the word had gone forth that the little soul was having this extraordinary conversation with God, and everyone wanted to hear what they were saying. Looking at the countless other souls gathered there, the little soul had to agree. None appeared to be less wonderful, less magnificent, or less perfect than the little soul itself. Such was the wonder of the souls gathered around, and so bright was their light that the little soul could scarcely gaze upon them. Wow, then to forgive? Asked God. I'm sorry, what or who? Then to forgive, asked God. Boy, this is going to be no fun at all, grumbled the little soul. I wanted to experience myself as one who forgives. I wanted to know what the part of special would feel like. And the little soul learned what it must feel like to be sad. But just then, a friendly soul stepped forward from the crowd. Not to worry, little soul, the friendly soul said. I will help you. You will? The little soul brightened. But what can you do? Why, I can give you someone to forgive. You can? Certainly, chirped the friendly soul. I can come into the next lifetime and do something for you to forgive. But why? Why would you do that? The little soul asked. You who are a being of such utter perfection, you who vibrate with such a speed that creates a light so bright that I can hardly gaze upon you, what could cause you to want to slow down your vibration to such a speed that your bright light would become dark and dense? What could cause you, who are so light that you dance upon the stars and move throughout the kingdom with the speed of your thought, to come into my life and make yourself so heavy that you could become a bad thing? Simple, the friendly soul said. I would do it because I love you. The little soul seemed surprised at the answer. Don't be so amazed, said the friendly soul. You have done the same thing for me. Don't you remember? Oh, we have danced together, you and I, many times. Through the cons and across the ages have we danced. Across all time and in many places have we played together. You just don't remember. We both have been all of it. We both have been the up and the down of it, the left and the right of it. We have been the here and the now and there of it, and the now and the then of it. We have been the male and the female, the good and the bad. We both have been the victim and the villain of it. Thus, we have come together, you and I, many times before, each bringing to the other the exact and perfect opportunity to express and experience who we really are. And so the friendly soul explained a little further, I will come into your next lifetime and be the bad one this time. I will do something really terrible, and then you can experience yourself as the one who forgives. But what will you do? The little soul asked, just as nervously. That would be so terrible. Oh, replied the friendly soul with a twinkle. We'll think of something. Then the friendly soul seemed to turn serious and said in a quiet voice, You're right about one thing, you know. What is that? The little soul wanted to know. I will have to slow down my vibration and become very heavy to do this next not so nice thing. I will have to pretend to be something very unlike myself. And so I have but one favor to ask of you in return. Oh, anything, cried the little soul, and began to dance and sing. I get to be forgiving. I get to be forgiving. Then the little soul saw the friendly soul was remaining very quiet. What is it? The little soul asked. What can I do for you? You're such an angel to be willing to do this for me. Of course, this friendly soul is an angel, God interrupted. Everyone is. Always remember, I have sent you nothing but angels. And so the little soul wanted more than ever to grant the friendly soul's request. What can I do for you? The little soul asked again. In the moment that I strike you and smite you, the friendly soul replied. In the moment that I do the worst to you that you could possibly imagine, in that very moment, yes, the little soul interrupted, yes, the friendly soul became quieter still. Remember who I am. Oh, I will, cried the little soul. I promise I will always remember you as I see you right now, right here. Good, said the friendly soul. Because you see, I will have been pretending so hard, I will have forgotten myself. And if I do not remember me as I really am, I may not be able to remember for a very long time. And if I forget who I am, I may even forget who you are. And we will both be lost. Then we will need another soul to come along and remind us of who we are. No, we won't, the little soul promised again. I will remember you, and I will thank you for bringing me this gift. the chance to experience myself as who I am. And so the agreement was made. The little soul went forth in a new lifetime, excited to be the light, which was very special, and excited to be that part of special called forgiveness. And the little soul waited anxiously to be able to experience itself as forgiveness and to thank whatever the other soul made it possible. And at all the moments in that new lifetime, whenever a new soul appeared on the scene, whether the new soul brought joy or sadness, and especially if it brought sadness, the little soul thought of what God had said. Always remember, I have sent you nothing but angels. There are things that come into our life that create this war inside of us, this darkness. And the war is, we want to be who we are in our humanity, or in our light, but our humanity gets in the way. It prevents us from being that we were created to be. It can be, you see it, and it's called all kinds of different things. In her book, What's in the Way is the Way, Mary O'Malley talks about that giving up the war with what life is bringing you, we call that humility. True humility is a state of great availability. Now think about that. True humility is a state of great availability. That part of us that says to forgive is our light. That part of us that says to punish is our dark. It's not punishment to hold someone accountable for their actions, so don't get me wrong there. It's a consequence or a boundary. It's ironic that Steph picked Be the Blessing as part of my talk. It actually wasn't part of my summary. It didn't tell you that. It's a tagline that I have on my emails, or the things I sign off on. And Be the Blessing came about for me about 12 years ago. I was working in an organization and was part of a sales organization. And whenever the guys, we all sat kind of in this bullpen, and whenever somebody went out on a sales call, everybody say, good luck, good luck, good luck. And I was like, good luck, that's... So I just popped off and said one time, Be the Blessing. And people looked at me, and I'm like, Be the Blessing. And it stuck with me ever since. And then the guys started saying that. They started saying, Be the Blessing. And so I thought, yeah, that's what I want to be. I want to be the blessing. And whatever that looks like, whether it's helping someone start their car, or fixing something, or just helping a friend through a difficult time. It's just about being the blessing to someone. In the story of the little soul and the son, there's a part where the friendly soul says to the little soul, in the moment that I strike you and smite you, in that moment, when I do the worst that you could possibly imagine, in that very moment, the friendly soul said, remember who I am. Suzanne shared with me when we were talking about this story in the book and my talk. She said, I think of when Judas gave Jesus the kiss. It was his way of telling Jesus, remember who I am. Because what I'm about to do right now is not good. But remember who I am. There are two people in my life and situations right now that fall into this. One is someone whose offense didn't affect me personally, but I've been able to see him and get to know him without the prejudice. I'd like to think that I've been able to know him and see him as God sees him. He has been rehabilitated and has a strong and a sought reconciliation for his actions, and he is healing. The other is someone who has offended me, and I've been struggling to see that person and their light. They do not appear to have any remorse in their actions and seem to continue the same behaviors. I'm trying to see their light. It's what I'm going through right now. This is part of what I am actively working through. And part of me is just trying to see this person as a friend. Or is this a person that I want in my circle of friendships? Is this something that I can tolerate in my circle? Or is it somebody that I need to just keep a boundary with? And I would submit to you that we all have somebody in our life that falls in one of these two categories, right? Years ago, I went through a recovery program because of an addiction. And prior to that, I had a lot of judgment about people in that had suffered. I say suffered because they do. You suffer in your own guilt, your own shame. People don't think that you do, but trust me, you do. You lose a lot of sleep. You lose a lot of friends. And once I went into the recovery program, I started seeing it differently. And I started understanding the hurt, the shame, the blame, the guilt, everything that is associated with that. And it caused me to have a tremendous amount of empathy. And I believe that was important for me in life. Because there's a segment of people that I have a great amount of empathy and compassion for, because I can't judge them, because I'm one bad choice from being who they are or where they've been. And I think that's the gift that God has given us, and the opportunity that God gives us to place ourselves into situations in people's lives to be that light and call the light out in them. So we're going to go into our meditation. I'm going to do meditation a little bit different here. As you know, I like to do the meditation after the talk because I like the time of meditation to also be something to reflect on and maybe call out from the talk something inside of you that's stirring. So we're gonna do the meditation. I'm gonna get a drink of water here because I'm getting a little dry. But we're gonna do the meditation, and we'll go from there. So I'd ask you all to place your feet on the floor. Feel your bottom resting in the seat. And take a deep breath. And exhale. Feel the back of the seat supporting you. Allow your full weight to just sink into where you're at. Take another deep, intentional breath. Think of the image of that little soul, that childlike wonder, mystery, excitement. Who we are before wounds. Excited to be light. Think of the other little souls in our lives. Is there anyone in your life that needs you to be light to? Maybe it's somebody that needs forgiveness. And if the image of that person comes into your awareness, look for the little soul. Look for their light. Or maybe there's something in your life that is preventing you from showing your light. Can you see yourself as that little soul? And maybe what's going on right now isn't about forgiveness, but maybe it's what gift, what part of special do you want to be? Do you want to be kind? Do you want to be generous? Do you want to be compassionate? Do you want to be empathy? What is yours to do? What is yours to be? Take a deep breath. Let it be a resolve. And as you exhale, look at that as a release. Take another deep breath. And release. And as you open your eyes, look for the light around you. So it is. Thank you. Just don't touch it.
Just one life, that's all that we've been given here. Just one chance to make a difference where we live. I'm just one man. I'm only human, but only human means I've got a lot to give. Love can move the world as the moon in the sky moves the sea. Love can cause the wars to cease. Love can move this world to peace. It's a tide that begins with you and me. Love can move the world as the warmth of the sun moves the tree. Feel the wind of love increase as we move this world to peace. Come love the world with me. Look around, there's someone hurting near you. Look around, there's something you can do. Look within you and find your spirit to change the world. There's got to be a change in you. Love can move the world as the moon in the sky moves the sea. Love can cause the wars to cease. Love can move this world to peace. It's a tide that begins with you and me. Love can move the world as the warmth of the sun moves the tree. Feel the wind of love increase as we move this world to peace. Come love the world with me. Love can move the world as the moon in the sky moves the sea. Love can cause the wars to cease. Love can move this world to peace. It's a tide that begins with you and me. Oh, love can move the world as the warmth of the sun moves the tree. Feel the wind of love increase as we move this world to peace. Come love the world with me. Come love the world with me.
Wow, that was deep and intense. And I still got some feels. If y'all don't have feels, I don't know. And initially I thought, oh my God, I'm going to have to rewrite my whole talk next week. And then I went, no, I'm not. I'm just going to build on it. I am someone who believes that all paths lead to love, and I believe all paths lead to God because it's the same thing. And I really appreciate what you had to say about that, because I think we all have people in our lives who have protagonists and antagonists, and it's sometimes really hard to feel the gratitude in what they are leading us towards and through so that we can be better bringers of light. So Jeff, thank you so much for that. That was really fantastic. We have some announcements. All right, we have a talent show coming up, and hopefully there are a lot of you who are participating in this. And this is Friday, March 15th from 7 to 9. Come show off your talent or just come and have a good time. I'm not providing any talent, but I will be here to support those who do. So I am so glad that there are people who are doing that. And I don't know if there are still spots available or not, but you can call the phone number and find out if there's something that you want to do and you still want to participate in that. In addition to that, also coming up is our annual meeting and potluck. This will be after the Sunday service, and this is on the 17th. This is a very important thing to attend. Whether you are a member or a non-member or you just want to know what's going on, be here for this. You have a voice. There are so many things that are happening with our center, and there are so many opportunities that need to be heard. And I'm so excited about so much that is occurring, and I really want all of you to have an opportunity to be a part of that as well. So sign up for something or don't sign up for something, but come be here for that. And there is an opportunity to sign up for that. It's right out there out in the hall. Okay, Easter egg hunt, March 31st at 1 o'clock. That's after services. So all ages, all kids. Now, if you think you're a kid at heart, but you're in your 70s, I'm just going to say you don't stand a chance. But give it a go. I'm going to watch. I can't wait to see how that works out. And if you fall down, we'll pick you up. We'll be humanitarians. We'll help you out. We'll give you an Easter egg. It'll work out. But this is primarily for children, and I guess you're going to have to decide what that means for you. And if you have questions about it, you can email us at Hello Unity Center, or you can give us a call for information. All right, at this time, sharing your gifts with intention creates an energetic flow through your hearts and minds, creating more abundance for both recipient and giver. As we pass the offering bags, I invite you to hold your intentions in your mind. And during that time, hopefully we'll have a little music, and if we don't, feel free to just move into the silence. No music, move into the silence. Do a little more meditation. Consider who you want to be. Be the light. Thank you, Doug. I invite you to join me in blessing these gifts as we affirm together our love offering statement. Together, divine love in, through, and as me blesses and multiplies all that I am, all that I have, all that I give, and all that I receive. And I also invite you to place any prayer intentions in the prayer box when you leave today, and our prayer team, along with Silent Unity, will pray over these for the next 30 days. All right, we are going to welcome in our kids, but we're going to do this in a cappella. and I'm turning off this microphone because, like I said, I'm not sharing my gifts with you.
Well, yes. I have a bad habit of getting my hair. Yeah. Interesting that you brought that up because we read this, or watched on YouTube, I guess, the same story that Jeff presented today about the little soul in the sun. It was. Thank you to Jeff. Yes. And then we talked about it. We had some questions, right? And then we ran out of time, but we started to make lanterns that have to do with this little light of mine. I'm going to let it shine. So that is what we did. Did you want to ask them any questions? Okay. Yeah. Well, one of the questions that I would like you guys to try to answer is, at the end we talked about, from the story, what part of special do you guys want to be? Do you remember what you said, Lily? I thought it was pretty cool. Can I share what you said? She said that she wants to be all parts of special. So she wants to be she wants to be the love, the kindness, the helpfulness, the understanding, the forgiveness. So I thought that was pretty amazing. And I think Amalia agreed with her that was pretty cool. I don't know. Did you have another take on it? No. But I heard Amalia say, yeah. So.
All right, well, let's bless our children then, and then children will give you an opportunity to bless us back. So for our blessing, God loves you and accepts you just the way you are. And I love you and accept you just the way you are. All right, children, back at us. God loves you and accepts you just the way you are. And we love you and accept you just the way you are. We behold the Christ in you. Thank you. Woo! All right, let's gather in a circle. We'll sing our peace song. I think this is also a cappella. Good luck with that. And then into our prayer of protection.